Just one more inch. Oh my goodness. Nope. Yo. Can I be honest for a minute? Why is it that suitcase sitting empty on the bed looks huge, but somehow 30 minutes later, it's magically too small? I don't know who keeps shrinking these suitcases, but I like to have a word. I'm telling you. And here's the funny part. Most of us aren't even packing for the vacation we're actually taking. We're packing for every vacation that could possibly happen. What if it's cold? What if there's a fancy dinner? What if I change my mind? What if? Friend, those three little words have probably cost us more baggage fees than anything else. I give up. So today, we're going to retire the phrase, just in case. Because I want you packing with confidence, not anxiety. Hey, Carry On crew. Welcome back to another travel talk. I'm Christy, and around here we believe travel should leave you with memories, not migraines. So whether you're watching from your living room, on your lunch break, or maybe you're watching this while your suitcase is currently open on the bed, trying to decide if you really need that fourth pair of shoes, I'm glad you're here. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, or grab something frozen with a tiny umbrella in it, because today we're talking about one of the biggest vacation stressors, packing. Now, before you say, Christy, I'm just not good at packing, I'm going to stop you right there. I don't think that's true. I think most people have never been taught a system, and there's a difference. Packing isn't a talent, it's a process. And once you have a process, everything changes. So, can we talk for a minute? Can I tell you what I think packing is really about? Because I don't think it's clothes. I think it's confidence. Stay with me for a second. When we pack, most of us aren't asking, what would I actually wear? We're asking, what if I need this? And those are two completely different questions. One is based on reality. The other is based on fear. Fear of not being prepared. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of wishing we'd brought something. So we start adding things. One extra outfit, then another, then a pair of shoes, a jacket, an extra jacket, because what if? Have you ever noticed the more uncertain we feel, the bigger the suitcase gets? It's almost like we're trying to pack peace of mind. But here's the funny thing. It never works. Because once the suitcase is full, our brain doesn't relax. It just finds another what if. What if it rains? What if I don't like my outfits? What if we decide to go somewhere nicer? What if? Our minds are incredibly creative, especially when we're standing over an open suitcase. And here's something James and I learned after traveling through airport after airport. Freedom doesn't come from packing. Freedom comes from trusting your system. When you know every piece in your suitcase has a purpose, you stop second guessing yourself. When every outfit has already been planned, you stop standing in a hotel room wondering what to wear. When everything mixes and matches, you stop wishing you packed half your closet. Packing becomes simple, and vacations become lighter. Not just because your suitcase weighs less, because you do. There's something really freeing about realizing I already have everything I need. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you have to travel with one backpack and 3 outfits. If that's your style, that's wonderful. If it's not, that's okay too. This isn't about packing the least. It's about packing with intention. And every item should answer one question. Why am I bringing you? If the answer is well, maybe, possibly, just in case, it might be time you leave it at home. Because the goal isn't to win the packing contest. The goal is to spend less time managing your suitcase and more time making memories. And speaking of luggage, let's talk about a few travelers we already know. Bless their hearts. Well, y'all know what time it is. It's time for Bless Their Heart. Now, if you're new to Travel Talks, let me explain. This is our judgment free zone. We're not here to make fun of anybody. Because if we're honest, every single one of us, including me, has packed at least one suitcase that has questioning our own decisions. Some of us more than others. So if you recognize yourself today, just smile. You're among friends. All right, let's unzip this suitcase. Mine's half unzipped. Bless the traveler who packed for every possible scenario. What if it gets cold? What if we get invited somewhere fancy? What if I spill something? What if my mind changes? Friend, you're going to an all-exclusive resort. The biggest decision you'll probably make is pool first or beach first. Not every what if deserves space in your suitcase. Sometimes we pack for possibilities instead of reality. Can we have an honest conversation about shoes? Because somehow shoes multiply. You start with one pair. Then you think, I'll need comfortable shoes and dinner shoes and sandals and maybe another pair of sandals. Oh, these will look cute with that outfit. Before you know it, your shoes weigh more than your clothes. And here's the funny part. You wear the same comfortable pair almost the whole trip. Bless it. Those other shoes just enjoyed an expensive vacation. Y'all know exactly which outfit I'm talking about. Now, the outfit that never leaves the suitcase. Y'all know exactly which outfit I'm talking about. It's hanging in the closet, looking so beautiful. You pack it every single trip. You tell yourself, this is the vacation, I'm finally going to wear it. Then you get there, you choose something comfortable instead. The trip ends, you unpack, and there it is. Still perfectly folded, still wrinkle-free, still waiting on its big moment. I know I'm not the only one. And at this point, that outfit has seen more hotel rooms than it has sunsets. I might need this bag. Then there's the little pile on the bed. You know the one. It starts small. I might need this. Oh, let me throw this in too. And this. And that doesn't take up much room. Then suddenly, the might need pile is bigger than the definitely need pile. Friend, if you're making room for 5 maybes, you might be crowding out what actually matters. The toiletry takeover. Now, can we talk about toiletries? Some suitcases don't have a toiletry bag. They have an entire bathroom. 3 shampoos, 2 conditioners, 4 lotions, 5 hair products, every makeup brush you've ever purchased, enough body wash to survive a 6-month expedition. Bless our hearts. Travel size products were invented for a reason. And no, you probably don't need enough hairspray to hold everybody's hairstyle in place on vacation. Now the souvenir problem, this one gets people every time. Leave home with a suitcase that's packed to the zipper. Every inch is spoken for. Then you find the perfect t-shirt, a coffee mug, a local seasoning, Christmas ornaments, a handmade souvenir, and suddenly you're in the hotel room trying to negotiate with physics. You're sitting on your suitcase. Your spouse is pulling the zipper. Somebody's saying, push harder. All because we forgot to leave room for the memories coming home with us. I just don't understand. The I don't want to forget anything traveler. This one is my favorite because it comes from such a good place. We don't overpack because we're trying to be difficult. We overpack because we care. We don't want to forget something important. We want to be prepared. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is sometimes we confuse being prepared with bringing everything. Those are not the same thing. So here's what I've learned. The heaviest suitcase usually isn't filled with clothes. It's filled with uncertainty. The what ifs, with maybe, with just in case. But the lightest travelers that I have met, they aren't lucky, they aren't careless. They simply trust their system. They know what works, they know what they'll actually wear, and they know they don't have to carry every possibility with them. They just want to have an amazing vacation. Because the goal isn't to pack more, the goal is to travel with more freedom. So today's Bless Your Heart is bless every overpacked suitcase. Bless every pair of shoes that never left the hotel room. Bless every outfit that came home with tags still on it. Bless every traveler who ever had to sit on their suitcase just to get it zipped. We've all been there. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you the exact system that we use that changed everything. No stress, no guessing, that just in case. Just a simple system that makes packing one of the easiest part of your vacation. All right, let's talk about responsible adults. Now, don't let the title fool you. This isn't about being perfect. It's about making your vacation easier. Because here's what I've learned. Packing isn't stressful because you have too little space. Packing is stressful because you have too many decisions. Every shirt, every pair of shoes, every jacket, every accessory. You're asking yourself the same question over and over again. Should I bring this? Friend, that is exhausting. So today I'm going to show you the system James and I use. It's simple, it's practical, and it has saved us more time, money, and back pain than I can count. Rule number 1, pack outfits, not options. This one rule changed everything for us. Most people pack individual pieces. 3 t-shirts, 5 pairs of pants, 4 random tops. And then they get to the hotel and stand there thinking, what goes with what? Instead of pack complete outfits. Lay everything out before it ever goes into the suitcase. Shirts, bottoms, shoes, accessories, anything you need. Then ask yourself, where am I wearing this? Now you're not packing clothes. You're packing Tuesday's dinner. You're packing your excursion. You're packing for embarkation day. You're packing for the beach. Every outfit already has a purpose, which means when you're on vacation, you're not wasting 20 minutes every morning trying to figure out what to wear. You already made that decision while you were at home. Now, rule number 2, every item has to earn its place. This is where we get ruthless. I want you to imagine your suitcase is a team. Every item has to contribute. If something only works with one outfit, it better be worth it. If it doesn't match anything else, why is it even coming? If you're bringing something because maybe I wear it, ask yourself, did I wear something like this on my last vacation? Because our past habits are usually better predictors than our imaginary vacation self. Rule number 3. The 2 outfit rule. This is one of my favorites. Every clothing item, especially tops, bottoms, and shoes, should work with at least 2 outfits whenever possible. That white shirt, can it work with shorts during the day and jeans at dinner? Perfect. Those sandals, can they go from sightseeing to dinner by the water? That's even better. The more your wardrobe works together, the fewer pieces you'll actually need. And somehow you'll feel like you packed more. Not because you brought more clothes, because you created more combinations. Now, leave room on purpose. Can I let you in on a little secret? I never try to fill my suitcase, ever. Matter of fact, I want empty space because vacations have a funny way of following you home. Maybe it's a handmade ornament, a bag of coffee, a cookbook, a t-shirt that you'll actually wear, or something that reminds you of a really special day. If your suitcase leaves home completely full, where are those memories gonna go? So leave yourself a little room. Future you will appreciate it. Rule number 5. Packing for the trip you booked, not the one that you imagined. Now let's say you're going on a 7-day Caribbean cruise. Most of your time is going to be spent by the pool, at dinner, exploring port, watching a show, relaxing. You're probably not climbing Mount Everest. You're probably attending a gala, so don't pack for those things. Pack for the vacation that's actually on your itinerary. That's where the freedom comes in. Now, if you have to debate it, leave it. This is the hardest rule because there's always that one item. You pick it up, put it on the suitcase. Take it out, put it back in. Look at it again. Then you ask your spouse, take it back out, friend. If you spent 15 minutes negotiating with the one blouse, it probably doesn't need to go. Trust yourself. If you really needed it, you wouldn't still be debating it. So let's review. Pack outfits, not options. Make every item earn its place. Choose pieces that work together. Leave room for the memories you'll be bringing home. Pack for the vacation you're always talking about. And trust yourself enough to leave the maybe pile behind. You know what happens when you follow this system. Your suitcase gets lighter, airport day gets easier, hotel mornings become simpler, you spend less time digging through luggage and more time living the vacation you worked so hard to take. Because here's the truth. Nobody ever comes home saying, you know what made this trip unforgettable? That extra sweater I never wore. What they remember is watching the sunset, trying the local food, laughing until their stomach hurt, meeting new people, making memories with people they love. That's what deserves your energy, not wrestling with an overstuffed suitcase. So that's the system. Simple, practical, and it works. I've trusted it on weekend getaways, long cruises, international adventures, and it hasn't let me down yet. Now, did I always pack this way? Not even close. Matter of fact, the lesson that changed everything started with one trip where I packed way too much and wore way too little. Ask me how I know. All right, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. Ask me how I know. If you've been hanging with me for the last couple of weeks, you already know what this means. This is where I tell you about something that I've learned the hard way. So hopefully you don't have to. Today's lesson, more luggage doesn't create more space. Ask me how I know. There was a time when packing stressed me out. Not because I didn't know where I was going, not because I didn't have enough clothes. I was stressed because I was trying to prepare for every possible situation. I packed for sunshine. I packed for rain. I packed for casual. I packed for dressy. I packed for just in case. Sound familiar? Then finally I get to my destination, open my suitcase, and feel good about myself. I think, look at me. I'm prepared. Then the vacation would happen. I wear my favorite comfortable outfit, wash it if I needed to, wear another outfit I already loved before I left home, and before I knew it, the trip was over. I get back home, open that same suitcase, and realize Half of what I packed never even left the suitcase. Not once. Still folded, still exactly where I put it before the trip. And I remember thinking, why did I carry all of this? Through the airport, into the hotel, back to the airport, back home again, for absolutely no reason. That was the moment something clicked for me. I wasn't packing for my vacation. I was packing for my imagination. For all the things that might happen, not the things that actually did. And once I realized that, everything changed. I stopped asking, what if I need this? And I started asking, when would I actually wear this? Those are two very different questions. One is driven by fear. The other is driven by intention. Now, does that mean I never bring an extra layer? Of course not. Does it mean I never pack something nice for a special dinner? Absolutely not. It simply means everything in my suitcase knows why it's there. And every piece has a purpose. And that's what gives me confidence. You know what's funny? The lighter my suitcase became, the lighter I felt. Not just physically, but mentally. I wasn't constantly managing stuff anymore. I wasn't digging through piles of clothes trying to figure out one shirt. I wasn't frustrated because nothing matched. I wasn't trying to force myself to wear something simply because I packed it. Instead, I got dressed, grabbed my day bag, and went to enjoy my vacation. That's the whole point. The suitcase should support your trip. It should never become the center of it. Now, can I tell you something else I've learned? The people who look the most relaxed while traveling usually aren't carrying the biggest suitcase. They've learned what they actually need, and they've given themselves permission to leave the rest behind. That's the freedom. Not because they own less, because they worry less. So if you're sitting there thinking, Christy, I'm still going to overpack, that's okay. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start with one trip. Maybe remove 2 outfits you probably won't wear. Leave 1 extra pair of shoes at home. Try planning your outfits before you pack. Little changes, that's all. Because travel isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming more confident. One trip at a time, and one day you'll unpack after every vacation. Look into your suitcase and smile, because everything you packed actually earned this place. Now that's a beautiful feeling. So that's today's Ask Me How I Know. And before we leave the departure lounge today, I've got one more thing I'd like to hand you. Let's get your boarding pass. Well, carry-on crew, we've reached one of my favorite moments of every travel talk. This is Christy's boarding pass. Every week before we leave the departure lounge, I want to leave you with something you can take into your next adventure. Not 100 things to remember, just a few that matter. So here's your boarding pass for today. Pack for the memories, not the maybes. The next time you're standing over an open suitcase, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Am I packing for my itinerary, or am I packing for my imagination? Because those just in case items have a way of taking up space that could be used for something more valuable. The memories that you'll bring home. Every item should have a purpose. Before anything goes into your suitcase, ask it one question. Why are you coming? If the answer is, I'm wearing this on excursion day, perfect. I'm wearing this to dinner, great. If the answer is, well, maybe, you already know what I'm going to say. Leave it at home. Your suitcase doesn't need possibilities. It needs a purpose. Boarding pass number 3. The best souvenir isn't something you buy. Can I leave you with this? Years from now, you're probably not going to remember every outfit you wore. You're not going to remember which sandals you packed or whether you bought 3 swimsuits or 4. What you'll remember is laughing until your stomach hurts. watching the sunset, trying food you've never had, meeting people you'll never forget, holding someone's hand while walking through a place you only dreamed about. Those are the things that stay with you. So don't spend all your energy managing your luggage when you could be making memories. Now, this week's challenge. Before your next trip, try this. Lay every outfit on your bed, then look at each one and ask, where am I wearing this? If you don't have an answer, take it out. Then, when you're finished packing, leave just a little empty space. Not because you forgot something, because you're making room for the adventure that comes home with you. Well, Carry On Crew, that's our final boarding call for today. I hope the next time you pack for a trip, you don't feel overwhelmed. I hope you feel confident. I hope you remember that packing isn't about preparing for every possibility. It's about preparing for the experience you actually going to have. Travel gets lighter when we stop carrying every what ifs. Thank you for spending part of your day with me here in the Departure Lounge. I always love hearing your stories. So let's keep the conversation going. What's the one thing you've packed on almost every trip but never actually used? I have a feeling these comments are going to be hilarious. And they might just help somebody else pack just a little bit smarter. And if today's travel talk made you smile or made you look at your suitcase a little differently, share it with someone who's convinced they need 7 pair of shoes for a 4-day vacation. And if you're not already part of the Carry On Crew, I'd love to have you join us every Monday right here in the Departure Lounge. Now, next week, we're talking about something that has caused more vacation stress than people realize. It's not airports. It's not packing. It's not even delayed flights. It's the moment you walk into your hotel room or your cruise cabin and suddenly can't find anything. We're talking about the cabin setup system, how to stay organized without wasting your vacation. Because the first 30 minutes after you arrive can shape the next 7 days. And trust me, you don't want to miss that one. So until next week, keep your carry-on light, your passport ready, and your heart open for whatever adventure comes next. Now, carry on.